Technology revolution of the 20th century converted the world to a global village, making communication quicker, imports and exports of goods easier, travel and tourism expanded, providing employment opportunities across the globe. Though advantages that flourished with well-connected globe are enjoyed, not all disadvantages are anticipated or mitigated. The outbreak of pandemic COVID-19 all over the world has disturbed the political, social, economic, religious, and financial structures of the whole world. World's topmost economies such as the US, China, UK, Germany, France, Italy, Japan, and many others are at the verge of collapse. Global stock markets fell on 24th February 2020 due to a significant rise in the number of COVID-19 cases outside mainland China. By 28th February 2020, stock markets worldwide saw the largest single-week declines since the 2008 financial crisis. Global stock markets crashed in March 2020, with falls of several percent in the world's major sectors. As the pandemic spreads, global conferences and events across technology, fashion, and sports are being cancelled or postponed. While the monetary impact on the travel and trade industry is yet to be estimated, it is likely to be in the billions and increasing. Many major industrial sectors are affected during this worldwide pandemic. Due to safety measures taken by the government in many countries, the tourism industry is facing many losses due to the lack of tourists and the shutdown of many public areas. One of the major consequences faced due to COVID-19 pandemic and economical sector is unemployment. Other than non-essential industries and services, all others are closed due to lockdown. With zero production and no consumers, revenues are trembling down, forcing companies to lay off employees or cut salaries. Unemployment rate is reaching unexpected levels around the world and becoming a burden on government to pay unemployment insurance. Many businesses which have just started or opened up, or the businesses having lower profit rates, are crashing as there is less production and supply of goods to the customers. With all educational institutes closed, academic years are impacted. The education sector is slowly recovering in many regions. Though the private educational institutes are opening up online education in urban areas, less privileged students in remote areas are kept away from these facilities. This can also be a major cause in unemployment of teachers, management sector, and also other staff related to educational sector. To help such remote areas of the society, UNESCO, United Nations Educational, Scientific and Cultural Organization, is supporting countries in their efforts to mitigate the immediate impact of school closures, particularly for more vulnerable and disadvantaged communities, and to facilitate the continuity of education for all through remote learning. It is also observed that the economic recovery from this fatal disease is only possible by 2021 because it has left severe impacts on the global economy and the countries face multiple difficulties to bring it back in a stable condition.
The COVID-19 pandemic has affected educational systems worldwide, leading to the near total closures of schools, universities, and colleges. But still, the students are able to cope up by attending virtual classrooms with the help of Zoom. This is one of the major problems that we are facing at present. Not only closure of schools had an impact on students and parents, but also there was a huge hit on various social and economic issues, including student digital learning, food insecurity and homelessness, as well as to childcare, healthcare, housing, internet and disability services. The impact was more severe for disadvantaged children and their families. UNESCO was the first agency to initiate distance learning programs and open education applications. As of 24th April, 1,725 billion learners are affected, and 192 countries have implemented nationwide closures, affecting about 98% of the world's student population. Nutrition plays a critical role in cognitive development and academic performance for children. Many children worldwide rely on free discounted meals at schools. When schools close, nutrition is especially compromised for children in schools where food is provided. Fast and reliable internet connection can help many children from disadvantaged families to learn new things even during this period of crisis. But this is not possible. Now, all the people are dependent on the internet connection to conduct and attend virtual classes. So, the people living in slums, the poor people, the people who don't have money, don't have the access to internet connections. Because of the closure of schools, books aren't issued. Book is one of the main sources through which a person could improve his skills as well as his knowledge. You can have a question that internet is also a way through which we can develop our skills and knowledge, or even you can think that the students could download the book which they want to read. But the question is all books available in the internet? Even if it is available, are they all able to download without an error or an issue? The answer is no. There's a lack of limitations and exceptions to copyright which has an impact on the ability of students to access the textbooks and materials they need to study. School closures negatively impact student learning outcomes. Schooling provides essential learning, and when school closes, children and youth are deprived opportunities for growth and development. If there's a problem, there's always a solution for it. In that case, many agencies have responded to COVID-19 by sharing their ideas. One such agency is UNESCO. Also, Open Education Community has shared few open educational resources, which includes Wir Lernen Online is a German online platform to find learning material for digital lessons. For the safety of students, the schools and universities are closed in order to prevent them from the virus. But we people never thought what the consequences would be. I would like to conclude by saying that schools are hubs of social activity and human interaction. When schools are closed, many children and youth miss out on social contact that is essential for learning and development.
Why did you shoot me? I can't breathe. I love you too. You shot me. You shot me. Please don't let me die. It's not real. I don't have a gun. Stop shooting. In the United States and many other countries around the world, people are protesting against the mistreatment of black people, especially by police officers, whose job is to serve and protect them. Hundreds of thousands of people in the US and around the world are going into the streets holding signs and marching to raise awareness of the problems faced by people in the black community. For many decades, black people have been treated unfairly compared with people of European descent and others. Often, they have not been given the same advantages. For instance, not hired for jobs or unfairly harassed. Time and again, black people have protested this unfair treatment. While there have been some improved changes and accountability in policing, there continue to be many challenges. Then on May 25th, a black man named George Floyd was killed by police officers in Minneapolis, Minnesota. They were arresting him for a relatively minor alleged offense. He did not deserve the treatment he got, and he did not deserve to die. Because it was caught on video, everyone around the world saw the brutality, unfair treatment of Floyd at the hands of the police. After Floyd's death, as well as other recent racist incidents in the US and other countries including Canada, many protests took place. Hundreds of thousands of people in many countries have marched to raise awareness about racism against black people and the need to find a solution. Many of the protests in the United States and around the world have been peaceful. Some of the protests, especially in the US, became violent. Many peaceful protests have been held before. In 2017, American football player Colin Kaepernick and others began taking a knee during the American national anthem. That meant they knelt down before the football games. They did it to protest black people being treated unfairly by police. It was a peaceful way to protest a very important issue. Some cities are having discussions about defunding of police forces and using that money to create a better system of policing that is more fair for everyone. The protests are continuing and people are discussing what can be done to make things better for black people. Many people of all races are listening to what black people have to say so they can better understand and support them. Because freedom is never voluntarily given by the oppressor. It must be demanded by the oppressed. What COVID-19 can teach us about tackling climate change. Expand cleaner public transport. Using low-interest borrowing to buy electric buses or to make public transport more effective and efficient could be a good way to get people to avoid using their own transport like cars. This could help to maintain the air quality improvements during the global lockdown. Plant more trees. Pakistan is paying more than 63,000 out of work laborers to plant tree saplings to rebuild depleted forests and to battle climate change. Similar tree restoration efforts are being discussed in the United States, where planting could create 150,000 jobs. Social distancing is relatively easy while planting trees. Raise fossil fuel taxes. Oil prices have plunged as Saudi Arabia and Russia battle over which big producers should cut supply most to shore up prices. Low prices and a growing of glut of stored oil risk delaying to clean the shift to clean energy needed to meet climate goals. Removing subsidies for oil, gas and coal could provide needed income for cash-strapped cities, states and countries as the coronavirus shutdowns slash other revenues including sales tax. Installing electric vehicle charging networks. A switch to electric vehicles is already underway, but easy access to charging stations is needed. In the United States, investing in long rail transmission lines to connect more wind and solar farms to the grid systems of adjoining states could help endure the power to charge new electric cars and electric vehicles. Build climate-resilient infrastructure. Low interest rates and the government spending also means that it's a great time for infrastructure projects that could shield us from climate threats. Building seawalls, dikes, or other protection against growing risk from flooding and sea level rise could save about $250 per $1 spent